Hello and welcome back to Speaking and Presenting in English. Again, I'm Professor Barry, and today we'll go through Unit 2. I'll tell you about the most important things in our textbook from Unit 2, the things you should focus on, and then we'll do a practice presentation at the end. I hope last week's lecture was not too difficult. I tried to speak slowly and clearly so you can understand with no problem. So I will try to do that again in this lecture. So let's get started. But before we start our new unit, let's do a quick review of Unit 1 and what we learned last week. So first we learned some useful vocabulary. If you remember, last week was introductions, meeting new people and introducing yourself, 자기소개. And so we needed vocabulary to talk about ourselves and to ask people questions when we meet them. So we had first name and last name. And this is opposite in Korean. So my name is Barry Allen. My first name is Barry. My last name or family name is Allen. If you're now in Korean, the last name or family name comes first. So for example, if your name is Jun Nare, Jun is the last name. That's the family name. Nare would be the first name. So that's one thing to remember. In Korean, the names are opposite of how we do it in English. So that was names. We also talked about hometown. So if someone asks you where you're from, then you need to know hometown. So I said last week, my hometown is Chicago. We also talked about hobbies and interests. So things you do for fun when you have free time. And in my case, I said my hobbies are reading and traveling. I like to read and I like to travel. We also learned two words for talking about your marital status. If you are married, you have a husband or wife, you can say, I'm married. If you do not have a husband or wife, you can say, I'm single. You can also use this to talk about having a boyfriend or girlfriend. So if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you can still say, I'm single. There were a few other words in the unit, like favorite. That's useful for talking about things you like. So for example, my favorite food. What's your favorite food? My favorite food is pizza. What's your favorite color? I love green. Things like that. We had birthday as well. When is your birthday? We'll talk more about that in Unit 2 today. And of course, your major. So what are you studying at Gimcheon University? Are you majoring in optometry? Or are you majoring in physical therapy? Some of you are optometry majors. So you could say my major is optometry. Some of you are physical therapy majors. Then you would say my major is physical therapy. Or I'm majoring in optometry. I'm majoring in physical therapy. So two ways to use that. We also had the word introduction. Of course, we did a 자기소개, so a self-introduction. Let me introduce myself. let me give you a short introduction. And we also had job. The word job was in the textbook. I didn't talk about it too much in the lecture, but of course your job is what you do for work. And then the word originally we also used. You can use this when talking about your hometown. For example, maybe you live in Gimcheon now because you're a student, but you didn't always live in Gimcheon, right? Your hometown is in a different city. So in my case, I can say I live in Daegu now, but I am originally from Chicago. Maybe you live in Gimcheon now, but you are originally from Busan. All right, we also talked about important questions that we need when introducing ourselves and meeting new people. And those are, what's your name? So, what's your name? My name's Barry. Where are you from? I'm from Chicago, or I'm originally from Chicago. What's your major? My major is English. My major is optometry. My major is physical therapy. And finally, what are your hobbies or interests? My hobby is traveling. I like to travel, or I am interested in travel. So that's the vocabulary and the important questions we learned. And then we also did a short audio or video clip. That was the presentation part of the class. So you introduced yourselves and you sent me the audio or video file. So it was great to meet you and hear your voices. And I know many of you are shy and not confident about your English, but overall, you did a really wonderful job. I was very impressed by your self-introductions. It was great to meet you, and I hope we can meet in person soon if this corona thing ends. So that's enough for our review. Now let's get into Unit 2. Okay, in the textbook, Unit 2 talks a lot about health and getting sick. We won't focus on that too much in the lecture. What Unit 2 is really about is time, days, months, numbers, talking about seasons and holidays. So when you go through the textbook, don't worry too much about talking about sickness or illness. Focus more on the vocabulary words. And those are here on this slide. So days of the week, you probably already know this, but it never hurts to go over them. And I'll help you a little with pronunciation. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday through Friday, we can, in Korean, you call these 평일, we call them weekdays. And Jumal, we call the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are the weekend. And in slide 2, we talked about that vocabulary word favorite. What's your favorite day of the week? Mine is Friday. I love Friday. Okay, we also have months. In Korean, months are very easy because you just need to know your numbers, 1 through 12, right? 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, etc. But in English, we have a different word for each one. So in this chart, I put the number after it just to help you. And we've got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And finally, we have some ordinal numbers. These are numbers that we use with dates. And these get very tricky, and I notice a lot of students have problems with them. So I made a chart from 1 to 31, because you'll need this when talking about dates. So what day is it? What's the date today? And the students often don't know when to use th or nd, or rd, third. So if you look, most of the numbers take th. There are only 3 exceptions, and those are first, second, and third. So if you remember that, any other number you get to that doesn't have a 1, 2, or 3 in it will have a th. So you'll see first, second, third, and then fourth, fifth, all the way to 20th. And then we start again with first, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And then we go back to th, 24th, all the way to 30th. And again, start over with 31st. And of course, if there were 32 days, you would have 32nd, 33rd, and then back to th. So that's helpful to help you remember how to use those ordinal numbers that we use with dates. So when is your birthday? My birthday is January 11th. All right, in the next slide, we'll talk a bit about one of my favorite topics, seasons and holidays. All right, seasons and holidays. Spring is coming. The cherry blossoms are already here. So we've got 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. You'll see the picture here on this slide. We've got winter, a very snowy winter. Doesn't snow very much in Daegu, where I live. How about where you live? Does it snow much in winter where you live? It does snow a lot in my hometown, Chicago. It snows quite a bit in winter there. All right, in addition to seasons, I have also listed some common holidays. Now, this is not every holiday, but I wanted to make sure that I got most of the important holidays in Korea here. So Christmas is important in the US, where I'm from. Also, it's a holiday in Korea. Of course, that's that's December 25th. And then we've got 2 New Year's days. We've got New Year's Day on January 1st that everyone celebrates, and we've got Lunar New Year's Day, or Seol, which is celebrated in much of Asia. Children's Day and Parents' Day are both coming soon. My children are very excited for Children's Day. They already made a list of presents that they want. In the US, we don't have a Children's Day. And Parents' Day is a little different in America. So in Korea, both parents are celebrated on one day, Parents' Day. But in the US, there are separate holidays. So Mother's Day is in May, and Father's Day is in June. Then you also have Independence Day, Buddha's birthday, and Memorial Day. So those are, again, not all of the holidays, but those are some of the bigger holidays in Korea. And it helps to be able to say them in English. So I wanted to include them here. All right, that's it for holidays and seasons. We will move along now, and I'll give you some tips that will help you with this unit. Okay, here I would like to give you some useful tips for talking about days and months and holidays. And that's to do with prepositions or janchisa. These can be a little difficult in English, so I want to make sure that it's clear. So if you're talking about a day of the week, use on. So my English class is on Tuesday. My English class is on Tuesday, on. For months, if you're just talking about the month, you can use in. So when is my birthday? My birthday is in January. When is your birthday? My son's birthday is in April, and my daughter's is too. Their birthdays are coming very soon. But for specific dates, you're going to use on. So if you're talking about the month plus the day, the date, you need to use on. So I said last week my birthday is on January 11th. My daughter's birthday is on April 7th, and my son's is on April 18th. When is your birthday? For holidays, generally you use on because that's a day, a specific day. So, what are you doing on New Year's Day? What are you doing on Christmas? For weekends, use on. I like to play soccer on the weekend. I like to play tennis on the weekend. And this is a pro tip. Many Korean speakers call Saturday and Sunday holidays because they are red days, especially Sunday. But in English, we do not call them holidays. In English, the word holiday is only used for things like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, etc. So do not, even though you don't work on Sunday, do not call it a holiday. Just call it the weekend or a day off. Okay, so that covers my useful tips for using prepositions with days and months. Next, we'll talk about some common questions and I'll give you some sample answers. So here are some common questions and I give you some sample answers as well to talk about seasons and days and months and times. So we've done this one several times now. When is your birthday? My birthday is on January 11th. It's also possible to leave out the on in this case. You can say my birthday is January 11th. What is your favorite season? What do you do in that season? This will help you with our presentation for today. So my favorite season is fall, and I like to go see the pretty leaves in fall. The leaves change colors. So I like to go see that. What is your least favorite season and why don't you like it? In my case, I can say I hate winter. It's too cold to go outside in winter, so I have to stay inside, so I don't like it. How about holidays, number 4? What is your favorite holiday? And what do you do on that day? In my case, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving Day in the US. What do I do? I eat turkey and stuffing, which you can see in the picture here in the bottom. That is turkey, and there is the little bread cubes inside the turkey there is called stuffing. It's very delicious. And I also watch football, and there's also a picture of American football there. And finally, number 5, what do you like to do on the weekend? I like to play with my children. I like to play with my kids on the weekend. All right, so those are some common questions and sample answers for you. Okay, and now it is presentation time. I'm going to give you a sample presentation so you can see how to do it. And it is also in your textbook. Remember, the textbook is in Canvas under Files, Unit 2. you will find the files you need. For the presentation should be the last two files in Unit 2. All right, so let's get started. For your presentation, you're going to talk about your favorite season and your least favorite season. So a season you love and the season that you hate. And you're going to make a brainstorming chart. So this will just be some notes to help you remember what you want to say. In my case, my favorite season is fall, and I like it because the air is cool and the sky is blue and the colors are beautiful. And it's special to me because I never feel hot and I love to see the fall colors. Now, the season I don't like is spring because I hate rain and I don't like warm weather. I also have allergies from the pollen in the air when the flowers start blooming. So that's the key information I want to talk about in my presentation. And I've also got some useful expressions here. These are also in the book, in your textbook. So I'd like to tell you about. That's good for introducing your topic. And you can say there are many reasons why I love, in my case, fall, or why I hate spring. And my favorite fall activity is, for example, going to see the fall colors. And then you can also use on the other hand, right? So I said I like fall for these reasons. On the other hand, I don't like spring. And the worst part about spring is blah, blah, blah. And then you need a conclusion to end your speech. So you can use in conclusion, X is my favorite season and Y is my least favorite season. So again, this information is all in your textbook. So please look at those pages as you prepare for your presentation. It will help you a lot. And now I will do my sample presentation. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'd like to tell you about my favorite and least favorite seasons. My favorite season is definitely fall. There are many reasons why I love fall. In fall, the weather is cool and dry, and the sky is blue. I never feel hot in fall. My favorite fall activity is traveling to different mountains to hike and enjoy the fall colors. The leaves are beautiful. On the other hand, my least favorite season is spring. There are many reasons why I hate spring. For one, the weather starts to get warm. I hate warm weather. Also, spring tends to be rainy and I really hate rain. But the worst part about spring is the pollen in the air. It makes my allergies act up and I feel terrible, just like the woman in this picture. So in conclusion, fall is my favorite season and spring is my least favorite season. Okay, so that is all for today's lecture. Here I have listed your next steps, your assignment. So just like last week, leave a short comment below the video. And remember, this is your attendance for this lecture. I'll take a screenshot of all of the comments and send them to the university so they know you attended this lecture. If you forgot to do last week's, please go back and do that too. Second, read Unit 2 in your textbook. Again, those pages are in the Files section of Canvas. Number 3, use page 22 and 23 in your textbook. 23 is just a blank page. To do some brainstorming, write some notes for what you want to talk about in your presentation. You can also use slides 8 to 10 from this presentation to help you. You're going to just follow my example. And after you make your notes and practice speaking, you're going to go and do number 4 here, which is film your presentation. So this should be a video of you giving your presentation, telling me about your favorite season and your least favorite season and why you like and hate those 2 seasons. And you should send me that video on Kakao Talk. Remember, don't write your whole speech and read it to me. That is not natural. So instead, take some notes, just like in slide 8. And you can use the notes to give your speech, but don't write full sentences, because then you will just read them, and that's not a good presentation. Okay, I will also put the presentation assignment information on Canvas under week 2 in case you want to see more details. You can find that there. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me a message on Kakao. And I look forward to hearing your presentations about seasons, your favorite and least favorite seasons. So I'll see you again soon. Take care.